Here's the real reason viewers are done with the endless Aristotle-Dumas saga. And it's not what you think. Hey everyone, welcome back to Radiant Serum. I'm Aubrey, and I hope your day is shining bright. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right into today's video. Lately, there's been a growing sense of fatigue surrounding a certain character, Aristotle-Dumas. Some viewers are just tired of hearing his name repeated endlessly, and it's beginning to wear thin. A few people even joked about how the storyline seems stuck on repeat, with no real progression or clarity about who this character is or why he's so significant. It's like the same narrative is being served over and over again without payoff. There's a bit of speculation about who Aristotle actually is. One person floated the idea that he might be Malcolm, especially now that Swat has ended. Maybe the actor's looking for a new project. But that was quickly countered with the reminder that Malcolm already has a spin-off, so that theory may not hold up. Another guess was that it could be Tucker, though that idea didn't gain much traction either. While that conversation simmered, attention also turned to Tracy's storyline. Some expressed hope that she'll come out of her situation stronger, as she continues to deal with the emotional fallout of loving someone who turned out to be a monster. At the same time, the upcoming party plans for Nikki's birthday took a surprising turn when someone suggested a stripper's pole, a twist that caught a few off guard. Fashion became another hot topic. Chelsea was encouraged to return to her fashion roots, with some pointing out that her current storyline just doesn't suit her. Nikki, on the other hand, received a flood of comments about her outfit. That pantsuit sparked wildly different reactions. Some thought it was beautiful and floral, perfect for spring. Others were more critical, calling it hideous or comparing it to something from The Sound of Music or Carol Burnett's curtain dress. There was even a humorous suggestion that the florist dressed her. Victor's role in recent events also stirred some strong feelings. Many were frustrated by his controlling nature and apparent lack of unconditional love for his family. There was a shared desire among viewers to see the rest of the family stand up to him, tired of what they see as empty threats in manipulative behavior. Some feel that the only person Victor truly cares about is himself. Elsewhere, questions arose about Ashley and Tracy's return from New York. There's a sense that Ashley's upcoming announcement could be more personal than professional, maybe even romantic. A few even joked that she might have secretly married Dumas, adding to the swirling speculation. The discussion eventually returned to the state of the show itself. Some viewers are frustrated with how certain storylines are handled. They pointed out inconsistencies, like characters who supposedly run companies but are never shown working. Instead, they're lounging in parks or operating businesses with no visible staff or resources. And then there's Phyllis, whose chaotic energy seems to override any semblance of a solid plan, yet she still manages to rope others in, like Amanda. In the midst of all this, a few viewers shared crossover excitement about other soap dramas, like the unfolding chaos involving Luna and Steffi on The Bold and The Beautiful, where darker plots are taking shape. All in all, there's a mix of weariness, speculation, humor, and passion in how people are responding to recent episodes. Whether it's fashion choices, confusing plots, or beloved characters behaving badly, everyone has something to say. And while not all of it is positive, it's clear that the show still sparks strong reactions, the kind that come from deep investment, even if that investment includes a fair bit of exasperation. Why does Victor's endless vendetta keep ruining everything? And why is Phyllis still stuck in the same old mess after all these years? There's this ongoing storyline that's been stirring up a lot of conversation. It centers on a character named Phyllis, who many feel deserves a break or a new opportunity. Some think she should finally get a job, as she's been struggling and seems to have lost her way. People have noticed how her recent behavior seems off, even bordering on irrational, which is frustrating for those who followed her story for a long time. A lot of the tension in the story revolves around Victor, a powerful figure whose relentless vendetta against another family, the Abbotts, has dragged on for far too long. Viewers are exhausted by his animosity and the way it continues to affect everyone around him. Some hope his family will finally step in and tell him to stop, or that he'll face some consequences to shake him out of this destructive pattern. There's a sense that he should be enjoying life instead of holding on to grudges, but his character keeps making threats and stirring conflict, especially with his son Adam, who's caught in the middle and may soon have to make a tough choice between loyalty to his father or to someone else close to him. Meanwhile, there's some drama involving Amanda and Lily, with Amanda seeming to outsmart or dismiss Lily, who's perceived as overly confident and somewhat naive. It's hinted Amanda might be using clever tactics to keep control, especially when it comes to their work and relationships with Phyllis. People are curious whether Amanda really means what she says, or if she's just trying to keep the peace or silence Phyllis. Phyllis's ambitions seem to include trying to take over a company recently purchased by Victor, which could lead to some interesting confrontations. Some viewers think this plotline could bring some much-needed excitement to the show, while others feel it's dragging on or not realistic. Then there's the ongoing conversation about the show's pace and style overall. Some longtime watchers admit it's gotten slow and repetitive, so much so that skipping a week barely makes a difference. Yet, despite the boredom, many still find themselves hooked, maybe out of habit or loyalty. Aside from the main drama, there's a lot of chatter about wardrobe and styling choices for some characters, particularly Nikki. Opinions vary widely. Some think her outfits and hairstyles are unflattering or mismatched, with comparisons to vintage or even odd themes like Woodstock or a country western event. Others find her look charming or at least fitting for her character's vibe. The disagreement over styling reflects a broader frustration about the show's creative decisions. Another point sparking debate is the mysterious figure of Aristotle Dumas. There's speculation about his connection to other characters and whether he's related to anyone, with conflicting information about identities and pasts. The anticipation around this mystery adds a layer of intrigue for some, while others are skeptical or tired of the constant buildup without payoff. Amid all this, the community also took a moment to acknowledge some real-life sadness, sharing condolences for a recent personal loss related to one of the actors, reminding everyone that beyond the drama and storylines, there's real emotion and life happening off-screen. When it comes to reflecting on the show as a whole, the feelings are mixed. Some hope new plot developments will revitalize interest and bring fresh energy. Others wish for the long-running conflicts, especially Victor's vendetta, to finally resolve so the characters can move on. The desire for balance between familiar characters, engaging storylines, and believable drama is clear, but it seems the show is still trying to find its footing. In the end, this mix of frustration, loyalty, speculation, and hope for change captures the complex relationship viewers have with the story and its characters, watching it unfold, debating the choices made, and sticking around to see what happens next. Ever wonder how a single outfit can turn an entire show's vibe upside down? Nikki's latest look did just that, and the reactions say it all. So today's discussion really started with Nikki's outfit, which honestly caught a lot of people off guard. It seemed pretty wild and unconventional, almost like she was wearing a tablecloth or something that looked more like a chaotic fruit salad than something a matriarch married to a billionaire would wear. Some found it laughable, others just couldn't believe where such an outfit came from. There was this sense of disbelief, like who picked this? And it didn't seem to fit the character's usual style or stature. That outfit really set the tone for some broader frustrations. A few folks mentioned that Nikki's recent storylines felt underwhelming, like the scene where she tells a story about putting some disrespectful guy in his place was seen as a complete waste of time, a missed opportunity for stronger writing. There's this feeling among viewers that the show has lost some of its sharpness, and that the characters aren't being utilized to their full potential anymore. Meanwhile, the characters and their relationships stirred plenty of debate. Adam, in particular, sparked quite a bit of conversation. Many recalled the days when his character had better storylines and better chemistry, especially with Sally, rather than with Chelsea. Some think Adam doesn't want to be his father, Victor's minion. There's a shared sense that Victor's influence over him is toxic, with Victor constantly threatening or manipulating those around him. People seem tired of Victor's bullying and the way he uses Adam as a pawn to go after the Abbotts and others. Speaking of Victor, his relentless bullying was another sore point. Fans expressed frustration at how predictable and repetitive his threats and power plays have become. There's a hope among some that eventually others will stand up to him, telling him no until he's left isolated. Then there was talk about some upcoming twists and possible returns. There's speculation that a character named Street John might be back, but playing a different role, not the same as before. Some theories floated around the possibility that Aristotle Dumas could actually be Kane's son from a past affair, explaining his protective nature towards certain characters. That would be quite the shock, potentially shaking up the storyline and how people relate to Victor and the family. Yet, despite some excitement for potential new twists, many viewers feel stuck in a lull. Some characters are seen as being wasted, like Rory Gibson, who some think deserves better writing and storylines to really shine. And overall, the tone feels a bit dull to many, with business dealings happening in unlikely places like coffee shops or clubs, and characters drinking constantly without much real fun or genuine connection being shown. On a lighter note, one commenter joked about how much nosiness and trouble some characters bring, which at least adds a bit of spice. But even then, many admit they're just waiting for something truly interesting to happen, because right now it feels like a snooze fest. Finally, a few viewers shared that they've simply grown tired of certain storylines, like Amy's, and some have felt that way since those storylines began. It seems like there's a craving for fresher plots and more dynamic character developments that aren't just retreads of old drama. All in all, this conversation paints a picture of a show caught between nostalgia for its past strength and frustration over its current direction. The characters and storylines still have passionate fans, but many are longing for better writing, stronger stories, and perhaps a bit more fun and authenticity to recapture what made the show engaging in the first place. Are you tired of Victor's endless feud with Jack dragging the show down? You're not alone, and the latest episodes might finally shake things up. So recently, there was a lot of buzz about a dramatic turn on The Young and the Restless. It all centers around Victor, Nikki, and Jack, with quite a few explosive moments shaking things up in Genoa City. At the heart of the current drama, Victor's long-standing feud with Jack is still going strong, and honestly, many people are feeling it's getting a bit repetitive. Victor seems to have this vendetta that just never lets up, and viewers are pretty tired of his tantrums whenever things don't go his way, especially when it comes to his wealth and control. Interestingly, some argue the history behind Victor and Jack's rivalry goes deeper. It's said Victor resents Jack because Jack was born into money and privilege, while Victor had to build everything himself from scratch, feeling like an outsider despite being so powerful now. This backstory adds some layers to why Victor reacts the way he does. It's not just business, it's personal. Meanwhile, Nikki's recent look at a party caught a lot of attention. The outfit she wore sparked divided opinions. Some found it too busy or downright odd, while others defended it as stylish and bold. It seems like the wardrobe choices are almost a side storyline of their own at this point. Beyond the feud, there's a lot of family drama unfolding. For example, Michael is caught in the middle of some tough decisions, especially with Lauren urging him to quit working for Victor. This caused confusion and frustration because it felt like she was forcing his hand, rather than letting him decide for himself. Their strained marriage and loyalties within the Newman family add another layer of tension, especially since Victor's influence looms large over many relationships. There's also talk about some shocking secrets being revealed, with characters like Phyllis and Tracy getting involved in uncovering truths about Martin Laurent. These revelations promise more chaos ahead, and it's clear the show is leaning into dramatic twists to keep things intense. Fans are also noticing Amanda's return, stirring speculation about what she might be up to. She's quickly become part of the action again, and people are curious whether she'll shake things up further, especially given some hints about her connection to Devon's family. On the topic of family power plays, the Newman kids have tried to challenge Victor before, but attempts to take over the family business never fully succeeded. Some fans even joked about wanting them to try again, imagining the fireworks that would come with a family coup. Amid all this, some viewers are calling for changes in the cast and storylines. Phyllis, in particular, is a polarizing figure. Some love her scheming energy, while others find her pushiness and constant drama exhausting. Similarly, Victor's character is drawing mixed reactions, with some saying he's acting like a bully and needs to be taken down a notch, while others can't get enough of his powerful presence. As for the smaller details, there's been chatter about characters' fashion and hair choices. Nikki's hair getting compliments, Phyllis's style, and debates over whether characters should ditch their signature looks, like beards or hairstyles, to refresh the show's vibe. Lastly, some fans express sadness over rumors about cast members, but many quickly pointed out that some of the news was fake or outdated, showing the tight-knit and protective nature of the community around the show. Reflecting on all of this, it's clear that the show thrives on the complicated relationships and power struggles between its characters. While some storylines and conflicts have become familiar, the mix of intense family drama, surprising twists, and character dynamics keeps fans talking, even if opinions on the direction and choices vary widely. Whether it's Victor's relentless feud with Jack, the complicated loyalties within the Newman family, or the flashy party outfits that spark their own debates, The Young and the Restless continues to deliver moments that get people reflecting on loyalty, legacy, and the price of power in a small but turbulent town. What if the person you trusted most suddenly turns their back on you, and it sets off a war that could destroy everything? So here's the situation unfolding. At the center, Michael has just resigned from working with Victor because Victor's gone after Jack with some kind of revenge plan. Michael's decision clearly shook things up. People close to him feel he's caught in a tough spot, trying to balance his loyalty to Victor and his own conscience. He even says it took a lot out of him to quit, and there's this sense that he thought Victor would put love for him above hatred for the Abbotts, but that wasn't the case. Ultimately, Michael chose his commitment to his wife over Victor, even though it hurts him. At the ranch, Nick and Nikki are worried. Nick hasn't heard from his father, and Nikki suspects Victor is gearing up for a new attack on Jack, especially now that Michael is out of the picture to try to moderate things. They're bracing for things to get really ugly really soon. Nick promises to check in with his dad to gauge his state of mind. Meanwhile, at Newman Media, Victor is pushing his son Adam hard to launch a smear campaign against Billy Abbott and Abbott Communications. Adam's been stalling. He's conflicted and not fully on board with Victor's harsh tactics. Chelsea, who has just started at Newman Media, also finds herself tangled in this scheme and is uneasy about it all. She and Adam discuss how Victor is determined to humiliate Billy rather than just expose shortcomings, and Chelsea fears the cycle of dirty business won't stop. Adam, though, says he's changed for the better and believes in the vision they share. But the pressure is high. If they don't go through with it, they risk losing their jobs. Back at the club, Michael is struggling with his choice. He's moody and distracted, and Lauren reminds him that this is supposed to be the fresh start for their marriage. She pushes him to stop feeling guilty and focus on what matters. Despite the tension, they plan to take a trip to help Michael adjust. hoping some distance from Victor and his family will make things easier. Victor, true to form, is still fixated on the battle with Jack and the Abbats. He's planning what seems like a two-front war, relying on Nick to help him out. Nick offers his loyalty, but is clearly concerned about the escalating conflict. On a different note, there's some buzz about Amanda and Phyllis working together, intrigued by a mysterious figure named Dumas, who apparently has a hidden agenda with the Chancellor family. They plan to meet with him in Washington, D.C., hoping to pitch an idea, though Dumas remains elusive and refuses to meet easily. This mystery is causing some tension, especially with Lily, who doesn't trust someone who won't show their face or explain their motives. Amanda insists on discretion, but the family struggles with that secrecy. Beyond the main drama, there's lighter chatter about the characters' fashion choices. Some dislike Nikki's outfit, comparing it to drapes or tablecloths, while others defend certain looks or joke about the soap world's quirky habits, like never seeing the characters actually eat at home. Fans also speculate about some casting news and returning characters, including theories about Daniel Goddard potentially returning in a new role, which adds a bit of excitement amid all the intrigue. All in all, this tangled web of loyalty, power struggles, and personal dilemmas creates a rich landscape of conflict and uncertainty. Everyone seems caught between family, ambition, and their own sense of right and wrong. The question that lingers is how far they'll go in this battle, and what toll it will take on the relationships that matter most. Why does Victor hate Billy so much, even when Billy hasn't really done anything to deserve it? The truth behind decades of family drama might surprise you. There's been a long-running tension between Victor and the Abbott family, especially involving Billy and Victor. A question came up about what exactly Billy did to make Victor dislike him so much. After all these years, it's not entirely clear if Billy ever did something truly offensive beyond simply being an Abbott. Some feel like Billy is almost an extension of Jack, Victor's longtime rival, and that Victor's grudge against Billy partly comes from his frustration with Jack. Adding to that, Billy's marriage to Victoria, Victor's daughter, was a major sore spot for Victor. He saw it as a lifetime insult, especially since Victor viewed Billy as something of a failure at the time. Others pointed out that Victor's dislike seems to stem largely from a mix of family rivalry and personality clashes. Victor resented not being able to keep Billy and Victoria apart and doesn't seem to have forgiven that. But beyond the Abbott name and family battles, it appears that Billy hasn't really done much to earn Victor's hate on his own merits. Some even suggested that the whole hate story was a creation by the writers to fuel drama, just like some other forced rivalries on the show. Shifting gears, there was also a lot of chatter about the show's current direction, especially how Victor seems to dominate the storyline with his battles against Jack and others. Many longtime viewers feel that Victor's constant scheming and power plays have become repetitive and tiring. Instead of fresh stories, the show seems to revolve endlessly around Victor's attempts to control everything, from business empires to the personal lives of his family. This has led to a desire for new characters and storylines that don't circle back to Victor's battles every time. There's also been talk about how Victor's character has changed over the years. Some remember him as a charismatic, complex figure, but now he often comes off as just a bitter, grumpy villain. The constant feuding, especially with Jack, is wearing thin. Viewers wish for Victor to have moments of growth, maybe even to mentor someone or face some real losses for a change. Meanwhile, Billy's character is often caught in the crossfire, usually losing out to Victor's schemes. Fans want to see him win for once, perhaps by outsmarting Victor or finally taking control of a company like Chancellor. There's frustration that Billy is treated as a perpetual loser or the butt of Victor's anger, which doesn't always feel fair or interesting. Other side notes included the portrayal of characters like Nikki, who's had some ups and downs in terms of her relationships and sobriety, and how the show sometimes feels stuck recycling old conflicts. For example, attempts to bring back younger romantic storylines that used to be a highlight seem missing, leaving a gap that viewers miss. On a lighter note, some notice the actors actually eating real food during scenes lately, which adds a bit of realism, but also sparked some curiosity about how that's handled behind the scenes. Ultimately, the discussion reflects a longing for the show to evolve beyond its familiar patterns, less about the same family battles and more about fresh, meaningful storytelling that gives characters room to grow and viewers something new to care about. It's a delicate balance between honoring longtime characters and introducing new energy, and the hope is that the show finds that path forward soon. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you!